Pat McAfee just lost it live on air, and if you think you've seen quarterback drama before, think again. The former NFL punter and outspoken media personality went full nuclear defending Shedeur Sanders, and the internet hasn't stopped talking since. It all started with a viral clip, a press conference where Shedeur, the third-string quarterback for the Browns, didn't say a single word. Not one. Instead, he mimed every response, moving his hands, making faces, and basically turning a serious media session into a silent performance that had reporters confused and fans going wild. And yes, Rex Ryan, the former head coach turned media analyst, got roasted in the process. Here's the kicker. Rex went on national TV and told Shedeur to shut his mouth, called him an embarrassment, and basically implied that this young quarterback needed to learn humility fast. But Shedeur didn't just take it. He responded in a way nobody saw coming. By saying nothing, he said everything. Social media exploded. Clips went viral. Memes were born. People were either loving it or calling it the end of his NFL career before it even began. Pat McAfee's reaction? Pure admiration. He called it expert-level trolling, one of the funniest, most clever responses he'd ever seen from a third-string quarterback. And that's when things get really interesting, because this isn't just a kid goofing off. Pat breaks down why quarterbacks operate on a different level. They're essentially CEOs of multi-billion-dollar operations. Every word, every move, every facial expression is scrutinized. A punter can joke around, a linebacker can slip up, but a quarterback, that's a spotlight that never turns off. And for Shedeur, the attention isn't just about football. He's Shedeur Sanders' son, a social media phenomenon, and a young man with a massive platform before he's even taken an NFL snap. Now here, where the drama intensifies. Dillon Gabriel, a rookie, just got promoted to starter. Joe Flacco is QB2, and Shedeur remains at QB3. Decision-makers in NFL offices are watching, debating. Is this kid a distraction or a misunderstood genius? Is he building his brand while playing the long game, or is he sabotaging his football career before it begins? Pat McAfee doesn't shy away from the tough question. All Shedeur needs is one team to see the value in his swagger, confidence, and talent. But the risks are enormous. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this isn't just a story about a press conference. It's about power, fame, strategy, and the chaos that follows when the NFL and social media collide. And trust me, the truth about Shedeur Sanders is far more complicated and far more entertaining than anything you've seen so far. It all started with Rex Ryan going scorched earth on national television. The Browns had just taken a brutal loss. Joe Flacco was throwing interceptions like they were confetti, and the media jumped at the perfect moment to stir the quarterback debate. That's when Rex decided to unload on Shedeur Sanders, and he didn't hold back. He called the young QB an embarrassment, told him to stop running his mouth, and basically implied that this kid needed a serious reality check before stepping foot on the field. "If I know, the whole league knows," Rex said. "Quit being an embarrassment. You've got the talent to be a quarterback. You should be embarrassed that you're not the starter." Brutal. But what did Shedeur actually do to deserve this? His offense was simple. When asked about the quarterback situation, he said, "If you see the quarterback play in the league right now, I know I'm capable of doing better than that." That's it. A rookie expressing confidence in his abilities. Is it cocky? Sure. Is it bold? Absolutely. Is it exactly what you want from a quarterback who believes in himself? You tell me. But Rex saw it as the ultimate arrogance and went all in on national TV to humble him. Here, where it gets really interesting. Shedeur isn't just any third-string quarterback. He's a fifth-round pick with a spotlight most NFL starters don't even get. He's Shedeur Sanders' son, a multi-sport, multi-talented legend whose every move has been watched and analyzed for decades. Social media follows his every step, and millions of fans hang on his every word. In other words, the kid isn't just competing on the field. He's competing for attention in a league that rarely tolerates distractions. Rex's comments reflected a sentiment shared by many in NFL circles. The backup quarterback isn't supposed to create waves. The league already has enough chaos. Tebow Mania, for example, showed how a backup QB's antics could bring unnecessary drama to a team. That pressure likely influenced Shedeur's draft slide and fueled the league-wide skepticism. Teams are cautious. Locker rooms are delicate ecosystems, and a third-string quarterback with a massive following can either be a secret weapon or a ticking time bomb. But here's the twist. What Rex intended as a public scolding didn't land the way he expected. Instead of shrinking back, Shedeur did something nobody saw coming. He didn't argue, he didn't apologize, and he didn't speak a single word. What happened next would shock the NFL, the media, and everyone watching online, and it all started with this fiery Rex Ryan rant. What happened next was nothing short of legendary. Shedeur Sanders, faced with Rex Ryan's public scolding, stepped up to the microphone and did something no NFL player had ever done before. He didn't say a single word. Not one. Instead, he mimed every response, turning a tense press conference into a silent, theatrical performance that left reporters baffled and the internet erupting. Hand gestures, facial expressions, exaggerated movements. It was part performance art, part silent comedy, and entirely Shedeur. Cameras rolled, questions flew, and he answered them all without uttering a syllable. The reactions were instant. Social media blew up. Fans were sharing clips, making memes, debating whether it was genius or career suicide. Media personalities couldn't stop talking about it. And then came Pat McAfee. Known for speaking his mind and rarely holding back, he went full-on admiration mode. He called it expert-level trolling. Hilarious. And one of the most clever responses I've ever seen from a third-string quarterback. Pat was laughing, clearly impressed, but also aware of the stakes. This wasn't just a funny stunt. The NFL was watching, and every decision-maker in the league was taking notes. What makes Shedeur's move so fascinating is the context. He's not just a rookie. He's Shedeur Sanders' son, a figure with millions of followers and a spotlight that would overwhelm most veterans, let alone a QB3. Rex Ryan's critique was meant to humble him, but Shedeur flipped the script entirely. By saying nothing, he spoke volumes. Confidence, swagger, and a sense of control radiated from him in a way words never could. Fans saw audacity. Critics saw defiance. NFL executives probably saw both. A gamble with massive upside, or a potential distraction waiting to explode. Pat McAfee broke it down. When you're a quarterback, every action is magnified. You're the CEO of a billion-dollar operation, under a microscope from the media, your team, and fans. A punter can joke, a linebacker can slip, but a quarterback, every glance, every gesture counts. And Shedeur, aware of that, turned an attack into an opportunity. The miming wasn't just rebellion, it was strategy. It grabbed attention, created content, and forced the conversation to shift from criticism to fascination. But here's the kicker. While the world debated, Shedeur also controlled the narrative. Dylan Gabriel had just been named starter, Joe Flacco was QB2, and Shedeur remained QB3. The NFL landscape was complex, but Shedeur used his moment to remind everyone that he's a presence they can't ignore, without saying a single word. Genius. Reckless. Maybe a little of both. One thing's certain. The silence spoke louder than anything Rex Ryan could have shouted. To really understand what Shedeur Sanders did, you have to see it through the lens of the NFL itself. Pat McAfee broke it down perfectly. Being a quarterback isn't like any other position. You're not just tossing passes or running plays, you're running a billion-dollar operation. You're the face of the franchise. Every move you make is analyzed, dissected, and judged. A punter can joke around, a linebacker can get away with minor mistakes, but a quarterback. Every glance, every comment, every gesture is under a microscope. And for Shedeur, that microscope is on overdrive.
If you enjoyed today's breakdown and want to keep up with all the drama, trades, and behind-the-scenes action in the NFL, then don't forget to hit that like button.
This isn't just about Rex Ryan or media criticism. Shedeur is Shedeur Sanders' son, a living legend in his own right. That pedigree brings massive attention, millions of social media followers, and a spotlight few NFL starters ever experience. Every interview, every public appearance, every clip is going to be shared, scrutinized, and commented on. It's a level of exposure most rookies never face. And Pat McAfee made it clear, that's both an opportunity and a risk. Decision makers across the league are watching, analyzing, and debating. Some see swagger, confidence, and a young player unafraid to stand out. Others see potential distraction, a player whose antics could upset locker room chemistry. That tension is what makes this story so compelling. Shedeur isn't just playing football, he's navigating the delicate balance of talent, personality, and optics in a league where the smallest misstep can define a career. And yet, the beauty of it is in the duality. Shedeur can be both entertaining and effective. He's building a brand, creating content, and keeping himself relevant while waiting for his opportunity to shine on the field. Meanwhile, NFL coaches and front offices are trying to separate the substance from the spectacle. Pat McAfee even pointed out that sometimes all it takes is one team, one coach, one decision-maker willing to embrace the personality and talent, and suddenly the world of distraction flips into asset. That's the NFL lens in action. It's not just about the highlight plays or statistics. It's about timing, perception, and how a player fits into the bigger picture. Shedeur's miming, his viral moments, his confidence, they're all signals being read by executives who weigh potential versus risk constantly. Is he a future star or a headline maker at the expense of team chemistry? Only the teams on the inside can really decide. And for now, they're watching closely, trying to read the playbook that Shedeur Sanders is writing without saying a word. While social media and national TV exploded over Shedeur Sanders' miming stunt, the real story may be unfolding behind closed doors in the Browns' locker room. Because in the NFL, that's the arena that truly matters. Ken Dorsey, former NFL quarterback and longtime coach, gave insight that sheds light on what's really going on. He made it clear, the quarterback room and the locker room at large is sacred. It's the heartbeat of a team. If the players inside are aligned, if the relationships are strong, then outside noise, viral videos, media hot takes, social media firestorms, can be largely ignored. That's where Shedeur's gamble comes in. Pat McAfee has emphasized it repeatedly. This isn't just about creating content or going viral. It's about whether his actions are actually disruptive to the team's mission. Dillon Gabriel, the rookie starter, has stayed focused. Joe Flacco hasn't publicly complained. Kevin Stefanski hasn't made any statements suggesting locker room tension. By all accounts, the Browns' internal culture hasn't been rocked by Shedeur's silent protest, and that's critical. NFL teams aren't paying attention to memes or trending clips. They're watching how the players interact, how the leadership responds, and whether the team can still win games. The dynamic is delicate. Players are individuals with personalities, egos, and ambitions. Coaches must manage those traits without turning the team into robots. Some players push boundaries, some cross lines. But as Dorsey noted, a good coach pulls players back when necessary while letting them express themselves. For Shedeur, that could mean he's walking a tightrope, engaging the world without upsetting the locker room. So far, it seems he's managed it carefully. The Browns' room appears intact, even if the media and fans are obsessed with his every move. Pat McAfee even highlighted a crucial point. Teams only intervene when the internal culture is affected. Until then, the circus outside the locker room is just content, entertainment, and speculation. For Shedeur, that means he can maintain his swagger, his confidence, and his viral presence without necessarily harming his standing, at least for now. He's effectively testing the boundaries, seeing how far he can go while keeping the people who actually matter, the coaches and teammates, comfortable. Locker room reality is simple but unforgiving. If it stays healthy, outside drama doesn't matter. If it cracks, even a single viral clip could become a career-defining problem. For Shedeur Sanders, the next steps aren't just about attention. They're about maintaining the delicate balance between his public persona and his NFL future. And in that tightrope walk, every gesture, every move, and every silent moment counts. Shedeur Sanders' situation raises a question that goes far beyond the field. Is this about football, or is it about building a brand? In today's NFL, the lines are blurrier than ever. Pat McAfee touched on it repeatedly. Shedeur isn't just a quarterback, he's a walking platform. Millions of followers, viral clips, social media influence, and the legacy of being Deion Sanders' son. That's a lot of leverage before even throwing a pass. And for a young player sitting at QB3, the opportunity to build relevance might be just as valuable as climbing the depth chart. Think about it. The Browns just promoted Dillon Gabriel to starter, Joe Flacco is QB2, and Shedeur remains third string. In a traditional NFL path, that's a tough spot. But Shedeur's approach challenges that system. By creating viral moments, staying in the headlines, and maintaining his persona, he ensures that no matter what happens on the field, he remains a name people can't ignore. Every mime, every gesture, every social media clip is effectively a reminder. I exist. I'm relevant. I'm still in the conversation. Pat McAfee framed it perfectly. All Shedeur needs is one team willing to embrace the whole package. One decision-maker who sees the talent, personality, and brand value and says, "Yes, we'll handle the distractions. He's worth it." In other words, the risk of being labeled a distraction is outweighed by the reward of being irresistible to the right opportunity. That's a gamble many NFL players wouldn't take, but for Shedeur, it could pay off in a massive way. But here, the tension. NFL teams are still focused on winning football games. The traditional path values grinding, practice, and adherence to locker room culture. Too much outside attention can backfire if it crosses the line, creating friction between teammates or coaches. That's the tightrope Shedeur is walking. He's balancing the potential upside of a personal brand with the harsh reality of NFL expectations. Misstep on either side, and the narrative shifts from clever and confident to reckless and distracted. This isn't just about Shedeur Sanders. It's emblematic of a larger debate in sports today. How much can players prioritize personal brand, social influence, and media savvy without jeopardizing traditional career paths? Shedeur is testing that boundary in real time, and the world is watching. The miming, the viral moments, the swagger, they're all part of a carefully crafted identity, one that challenges the old-school notion of what it means to succeed in the NFL. And as Pat McAfee pointed out, maybe that's exactly the kind of player the modern league will value most, once someone decides to take the risk. While Shedeur Sanders is grabbing headlines with viral antics, Dillon Gabriel is quietly building his case the old-fashioned way: preparation, focus, and professionalism. The rookie QB, recently promoted to starter, has avoided the circus entirely. While Shedeur is miming press conferences and lighting up social media, Dillon has kept his head down, stayed locked in, and earned his spot based on performance and readiness. It's the classic contrast. One quarterback plays the media game, the other plays the game itself. Dillon's approach is subtle but powerful. He recently shared a story about a friend pointing out an open fire station. Garage doors ready, firefighters waiting for the call. That's exactly how Dillon sees his role. He's been prepared, waiting for his moment, and when the call came, he was ready to answer. It's a metaphor that perfectly captures the mindset required in the NFL: readiness, patience, and seizing opportunity when it finally arrives. No drama, no viral clips, just pure focus. The contrast between the two couldn't be starker. Shedeur thrives in the spotlight, creating attention and conversation even as a QB3. Dillon thrives in the background, letting preparation speak louder than headlines. Fans and media can debate all day about who winning, but the reality is that teams make decisions based on performance, reliability, and culture fit. Dillon's quiet grind and disciplined approach may resonate more with coaches and teammates, giving him a solid foundation to succeed long-term. Pat McAfee weighed in on this dynamic, highlighting the difference between content creation and career building. Shedeur's viral moments are clever, entertaining, and engaging, but they carry risk. Dillon's measured approach demonstrates a mastery of patience and situational awareness, showing that sometimes the path to success isn't through bold gestures, but consistent execution. McAfee emphasized that both strategies have merit. One can attract attention, the other can build trust. And in the NFL, both are valuable, but the league ultimately prioritizes reliability and the ability to win games. This contrast sets the stage for a fascinating showdown: the bold, media-savvy son of a legend versus the steady, prepared rookie who's earned his shot. One relies on charisma and strategy, the other on discipline and focus. As Dillon takes the field in London against the Vikings, all eyes will be on him, but the world will still be watching Shedeur too. It's a battle not just of quarterbacks, but of philosophies: flash versus focus, hype versus hard work, and the outcome could redefine who's shaping the narrative in Cleveland. The big question now is this: Is Shedeur Sanders a genius playing a high-stakes game, or is he on the verge of sabotaging his NFL career? From the outside, it's easy to see chaos, viral mimes, headline-grabbing antics, and a swagger that borders on defiance. But when you look closer, there's a method to the madness. Every silent gesture, every viral clip, every bold move is creating a narrative that he's in control, confident, and impossible to ignore. It's content creation at an elite level, wrapped in the guise of football. Pat McAfee broke it down perfectly. In today's NFL, a player doesn't always need universal approval. All Shedeur needs is one team, one coach, or one GM willing to take the gamble. One person who sees the talent, the brand, the confidence, and says, "We'll handle it. He's worth it." That's the bet he's making. If it pays off, he secures a future in the league and maintains his personal brand simultaneously. But if it doesn't, the label of distraction or locker room problem could stick, and his path becomes infinitely harder. The stakes are amplified because Shedeur isn't an average rookie. He's the son of Shedeur Sanders, a household name, a multi-sport legend, and an influencer in his own right. That pedigree comes with massive attention and expectation. Every step he takes is analyzed by media, fans, and NFL decision-makers alike. That spotlight can be a blessing or a curse, depending on how the league interprets his actions. A silent mime can be seen as confidence, cleverness, or outright defiance. There's no middle ground in the public eye. Yet there's a strategic element at play. Dillon Gabriel just got the starting nod for the Browns' London game, yet the story dominating social media is Shedeur Sanders. By creating viral moments while remaining QB3, Shedeur has shifted the conversation, controlled the narrative, and reminded everyone he exists, without stepping on the field. It's a gamble, yes, but one with potential upside if the right team buys in. Ultimately, it's a delicate balance between chaos and calculated risk. Is Shedeur undermining his career, or is he playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers? Pat McAfee's take is that the answer isn't clear yet. It depends on timing, opportunity, and how NFL teams interpret the value of personality versus disruption. For now, the world watches, debates, and reacts. And one thing's certain: whether it succeeds or backfires, it's going to be one of the most fascinating career experiments in recent NFL history. So where does this leave us with Shedeur Sanders? After viral press conferences, viral mimes, viral headlines, and endless debate, the story is far from over. On one side, you have a young quarterback with undeniable talent, confidence, and charisma. On the other, you have a league that values structure, discipline, and the tried-and-true path to success. Shedeur has taken a route that few dare to attempt, blending content creation, personal branding, and raw football potential into one high-stakes performance. Every gesture, every clip, every silent moment in front of the cameras is a calculated move, or at least, it appears that way. Pat McAfee's perspective captures the duality perfectly. On the one hand, he admires Shedeur's creativity, recognizing that few would dare respond to criticism from someone like Rex Ryan with such clever, silent defiance. That level of confidence, combined with social media savvy, turns an ordinary third-string quarterback into a story the entire league and the entire world is watching. But on the other hand, Pat understands the risks. NFL decision-makers are notoriously conservative, and locker room dynamics are fragile. What plays brilliantly in the court of public opinion can easily backfire behind closed doors. Shedeur is walking a fine line between legendary hustle and potential distraction. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel serves as the counterpoint to Shedeur's boldness. The rookie QB quietly earned his starting role, proving the old-school NFL values still hold weight. Preparation, patience, focus. These are the traits that coaches, teammates, and front offices trust. Dillon doesn't need viral moments or trending hashtags. He trusts the process, lets his performance speak, and importantly, hasn't created unnecessary drama. His approach demonstrates that success in the NFL can come in many forms. Through personality, yes, but also through discipline, focus, and readiness. Ken Dorsey's insight reminds us of a critical reality. It's all about the locker room. Media noise, social media clout, and fan opinions mean little if the quarterback room and team culture remain intact. For now, Shedeur appears to have managed that balance carefully, creating chaos on the surface without fracturing the team internally. But it's a delicate game, and the margin for error is razor-thin. The truth is, Shedeur Sanders embodies a new era in professional sports, where personal brand, viral moments, and social influence can coexist with traditional paths to success. He's challenging the old guard, showing that confidence, swagger, and strategy can be as impactful as stats and practice reps. Whether he becomes a star, a cautionary tale, or something in between remains to be seen. But one thing is undeniable. He's made every football fan, coach, and analyst stop, watch, and debate. At the end of the day, this isn't just about a quarterback's rise or a viral clip. It's about opportunity, timing, and the calculated risks we take to stay relevant and make our mark. Shedeur Sanders may still be QB3, but in the court of attention and influence, he's already commanding the spotlight. And as the NFL season unfolds, every snap, every decision, and every viral moment will determine whether he's a future superstar or a masterclass in calculated chaos. One thing is for certain. No matter how it plays out, watching Shedeur Sanders navigate this high-stakes game will be entertaining as hell.
If you enjoyed today's breakdown and want to keep up with all the drama, trades, and behind-the-scenes action in the NFL, then don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps this channel grow and lets us know you love this kind of content. And hey, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with your friends, your group chats, or anyone who loves football as much as you do. The more the conversation spreads, the better it gets. Most importantly, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and tap the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss when we drop fresh stories, wild rumors, or breaking updates that the mainstream media won't talk about.